After you set up your project, you'll need to get used to managing files in and out of the staging environment. So let's take a look at how to get things in and out of our staging queue. Now first, let's go ahead and make a few changes to our index.html document. I'm going to close this about.html, and I'm going to set this to revision 2 here and type in a different pangram. So now I'm going to save this document, and I'll come back into my terminal and do a git status command. Now here you can see that Git is telling us a couple of things about this index.html file. First, it's not staged for committing, so it means that it is not in the staging environment yet. It needs to be added there, and we already know how to do that. We can do that using a git add command. We can do either git add and then the name of the file, or git add period and then it adds all of the files. Or we can discard the changes in the working directory by using the git checkout and checking out this file right here. So let's go ahead and take a look at what that's like. If we say git checkout and then index.html, I'm going to hit return, and I'm going to go back into my text editor. And notice that it switches back to being at revision 1. So what we did is we grabbed the file out of our staging environment, which grabs the previous version of the file, and then it overwrote the changes that we had just made. That means that we're ignoring the changes that we just saved, and we pulled whatever was in staging into our work environment. Now we're back to what we had before. Now this is sort of like undoing, but remember that you can do this to all of your files at once. If you're messing around with different documents because you're trying out some extreme new feature and you feel like you've screwed up, you know that you can always go back to the version that you put in staging using this git checkout command. And this is really useful. Let's go ahead and make those changes again, and we'll send them to staging. So just because I know that I have this in my documents clipboard, I can actually just undo, and it will take me back to the last version of the project. Notice that this is not a saved version. This is just what is in my supplying text clipboard. So I'm going to grab those changes and then hit save again. We'll go back into the terminal and we'll do git status. And notice that it's the same as it was just a minute ago. It's telling us that these changes are not staged for commit, so we can add them to the staging environment by using the git add period or git add and then the name of the file. So now our changes are in the staging area. Sometimes it's a good idea to issue the clear command just so that we can see things a little bit cleaner on our terminal. And I'm going to do the git status command now. And notice that now this right here shows up as green. It's telling us that these changes are in the staging environment and they're ready to be committed. So notice that git status is not suggesting that you check things out from the staging area anymore. If something is already in staging, you can take it out by using this git reset head and then the file name command. This is called unstaging. It's taking whatever was in our staging environment and replacing what's in our working files environment with whatever is in staging. So let me show you how that works. Right now, if I just do that, my staging and my work environment are the same. So let's go ahead and make some changes here. All right, so I'm going to save that, and I'm going to do a git status command. And let's go ahead and clear the screen because it's actually a little bit confusing. It looks just like it did a minute ago. And do a git status now. And notice that it's showing you that now we have things that have been saved and are in our working environment. They're not in staging. That's this information you see right now. And we still have something in our staging environment. That would be revision 2. We can take the things that are in staging and then overwrite whatever we have in this environment. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll issue the git reset head command and then do this index.html file. All right, so if we look at git status again, now it looks like I have something in my working environment that is not in staging. So we just grabbed whatever was in staging and we replaced our working environment. And if we click over here, you'll notice that it sort of ignored revision 2 altogether. It just sort of deleted it out of staging, and look at the fact that we have this item right here that we saved in our work environment, and that's the one that's in here right now. So if we want to, we can go ahead and add that. We completely missed out on revision 2, but that's sometimes exactly what we want to do. We just want to clear out the staging environment and continue to work on our project. Now, it's as if you've never added what was in the staging environment in the first place. This is slightly different from checking things out because we're not moving any of the changes. We're just telling Git that we never meant to stage that file. So let's go ahead and do a couple of commits of all these files. I'm going to undo to get back my revision 2 here. Right, so I have that one. I'm going to save this, and I'm going to do a git add period command. Right, so if I do a git status, now you should see, go ahead and clear this out. Git status. You can see that this revision 2 has been placed into our staging environment. And now we can go ahead and schedule or set up a commit. So we'll do git commit -m for the message, and then we'll do revision 2. And then we will do also a clear here, and we'll do a git status. And right now there's nothing to commit. This is on revision 2. Let's go ahead and make the changes for revision 3 again here. So we'll do revision 3, and we'll just type this in again. We could undo, but I think it's a little bit clearer if I just type this in again. All right, so I'm going to save this, and this is going to be revision 3. So let's clear this out. Status shows us there's something in the working environment that needs to be staged. So we'll stage it. We'll say git add index.html. Right? So clear. Git status. I'm running git status a lot more than I normally would, just to show you sort of the progression of what I'm doing here. So now if I do a git commit -m revision 3, right, then our git status, let's go ahead and clear status. We should be all good. And if we take a look at the log now, so we'll do a git log.